Welcome back to More Sip2Tally. I'm your host, Coach Evans. And let's take a look at our number 12 team on the More Sip2Tally Power Rankings. We're inching a little bit closer to that top 10, but today's team, the number 12 team, is the Chicago Bears. Now, I had the Chicago Bears kind of high last year because I really like Justin Fields. Now they don't have Justin Fields, but they have a team around their new quarterback. And let's start with that quarterback room. They got rid of Fields. Took Caleb Williams, the rookie out of USC. He's going to be their starter. No stats on Caleb, obviously, because he's a rookie. What's behind him is Tyson Bagent. Not a lot of stats last year. Threw for just under 900 yards. The third quarterback in that room is Brent Ripken. Just under 200 yards. So it's really going to be up on Caleb to get out there and be trial by fire. He's going to have a plethora of weapons, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. He's the man. He's been probably one of the best players in college football for the past 2 years. Won the Heisman, not this year, but last year. And had it not been for their defense, probably would have been in the running again this year. But, that quarterback room is young with him and inexperienced with the other two guys. So, but they have a good team around them, I think. And we're going to talk about the rest of the team here, just shortly. But their quarterback room leaves a lot to be desired. And if they're going to compete in the new NFC North, they have to have solid quarterback play. I'm not going to say good. They got to have solid quarterback play from Caleb. And they got to protect him. Protect his throws, protect his reads. And those guys, once they get the ball in their hands, they got to make plays. Let's talk about these other guys that got to make plays once they get the ball in their hand. We'll start with the running back position. First guy they brought in was DeAndre Swift. They brought him in from Philadelphia last year. Last year in Philly, he had 1,049 yards, 5 touchdowns, 4.6 yards per carry. He also caught the ball 39 times for 214 yards and a touchdown. So he'll be the lead back in that room. Also, they got Khalil Herbert, who was with the Bears last year, had 611 yards, 2 touchdowns. He caught the ball 20 times for 134 yards and a touchdown. And then also in that room was a young up-and-comer, Rashawn Johnson, who had 352 yards, 2 touchdowns, caught the ball 34 times for 209 yards. So you got 3 quality backs in that backfield. Totally, they had 6, right at 2,000 yards. Combined. So you got guys he can hand the ball off to, guys he can throw it to out the backfield, playmakers to help the young quarterback. So you got a rookie quarterback, you got a guy that's not going to cost you a lot of money. So now it's time to surround him with the best team possible, and I think they did that with their running back room. They had some guys already on the team. They went and got one of the free agent running backs he wasn't in that top tier, but he was in that very next tier, in my opinion, and he's still young. Swift's only 24 years old, so they still gonna get a guy that I think is just now hitting his prime. And let's go to the pass catchers, which is probably where they're going to have the biggest advantage on the team. DJ Moore. Even with Justin Fields last year, DJ Moore had 1,364 yards on 96 catches, 8 touchdowns. And they say Justin Fields was not a good passer. Whether you believe that or not, DJ Moore made it look like he was. DJ Moore is a true number one. Short passes, he take them to the house. He beat people over the top. Intermediate stuff, he catch it and take it to the house. Whatever you need out of DJ Moore, he can do it. You add to that Keenan Allen, who had his second best year last year in in Los Angeles as a Charger. He had his second most receiving yards, and I think they wanted him to take a pay cut, and he was like, nah, I'm out. I think that was the case. But anyway, coming off his second most receiving yards, 1,243, had 108 catches. So you got DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and you draft Rome Odunze, one of the top 3 receivers in the draft last year. That's a great plethora of weapons to have for a rookie quarterback. 2 veterans that are during they're unguardable, and you draft one of the best receivers in the draft, one of the top 3 receivers in the draft. Also in that receiver room, you got Velus Jones, didn't play much. Tyler Scott didn't play much, had under 200 yards. Then you bring in back Dante Pettis, who sat out the entire 22 season. with an injury. Going over to your tight end room. Now your tight end room is experienced also. Cole Kmet, young tight end who's pretty good, 73 catches, 719 yards. But look at the experience behind Cole Kmet. You got Gerald Everett, who also came over from the Chargers, just like Keenan Allen. He had 51 catches for 411 yards. You also got Mercedes Lewis, who's a long-time NFL veteran. Long time. Mercedes Lewis is during that 40. During that 40. So you got all that experience around this young quarterback to help him be as successful as possible. But you got Cole Kmet with 73 catches. Gerald Everett last year had 51 catches. Then you got the experience of Mercedes Lewis just in case something happens to those other two guys. Great pass catchers. Great running backs. A lot of experience around and a lot of talent around your young quarterback. Let's talk about who's going to block for your young quarterback. Your O-line. You got Braxton Jones, who graded out at 68.8. Tevin Jenkins, who's a mauler, who graded out at 72.6. Coleman Shelton, 78.7, who's the top graded O-lineman for the Bears. Nate Davis, 52.9, and Darnell Wright, 62.4. So that's the O-line for the Chicago Bears, with Coleman Shelton, the center, being the highest graded O-lineman. Let's go over to the dark side. Let's talk about the defense a little bit for the Chicago Bears. Defensively, they're playing a 4-3. And we'll talk about the guys on the edge first. DeMarcus Walker, last year had 3.5 sacks, 30 tackles. The other guy is probably the star on that defensive line, and that's Montez Sweat. Sweat last year came over from the Commanders and led the Commanders in sacks and led the Bears in sacks. I don't know if that's been done before, but I know it hasn't been done much if it has been. He led the Commanders in sacks and he led the Bears in sacks. So he had 6 sacks for the Bears. I'm not sure how many he had for the Commanders, but he led both teams in sacks, and Sweat's a handful to block. In the interior, you got Andrew Billings with no sacks but 27 tackles, and then Javonte Dexter with 2.5 sacks and 20 tackles. And you really want those interior guys that normally they play in a 1 and a 3 to hold up blocks and keep guys off your linebackers. Speaking of linebackers, they got 2 really good linebackers and a young guy. T.J. Edwards had 155 tackles, 2.5 sacks, and then Tremaine Edmonds had 113 sacks and 4 interceptions. Now, those 2 guys were considered, because they were free agents last year and they came in, they were considered to be like the best linebacker duo in the NFL, or one of the best. It didn't end up like that, but they were pretty good. And the switching systems, now it's going to be 3 of them. They're adding Jack Sanborn to that too. Last year he had 65 tackles. They're good together. But I think them switching systems and having 3 guys in there, and they're going to be in a nickel too. So when they go to nickel, Jack will come out and they'll bring another guy in. And nickel's probably going to be their best lineup. Because when I tell you about these 3 guys at cornerback, you'll see why. But their base is 4-3, and Edwards and Edmonds, really good linebackers. Then you add Sanborn to that mix, that kind of bring them down just a little bit. But I mentioned cornerback for a minute, so let's go ahead and talk about corners. They got 2. One really good corner. Another guy that I think is going to ascend to be a really good corner. And then they got Kyler Gordon. So Jalen Johnson last year, 10 passes defended, 4 interceptions. And it's going to be hard pressed to find, I'd say, 10 corners better than what Jalen Johnson was last year. Tough, because he was real sticky in coverage. Like I said, 4 interceptions, 10 PDs. And then, last year Tyreek Stevenson was a rookie on the other side, and you would just, say, I'm going to go throw over him. Tyreek Stevenson had 16 passes defended and 4 interceptions. So that combination right there of Jalen Johnson and Tyreek Stevenson, awesome. And then you bring in Kyler Gordon as your nickel corner. Kyler Gordon was good coming out of Washington. He's not bad either. He had 6 PDs and 2 interceptions. So among those 3 guys, you got 10 interceptions and, 26, 32 passes defended. And then Tyreek Stevenson had 86 tackles. So just really good cornerback play from the Bears secondary. And then transition to their safety. They brought in Kevin Byard, who played for the Titans and the Eagles last year. And now he's with the Bears. He had 122 tackles, 3 forced fumbles and interception. And then Jaquan Brisker, who's already been good for the Bears for a number of years, had 105 tackles, 9 passes defended, and 1 interception. And so when you put all those guys together, that's a really formidable secondary. But let's take a look at all of the rankings, see where they at, and we can divide them and let you know where they at. So in their quarterback room, the Bears are number 28. Running back room, 7th. Wide receiver, 7th. Tight end, 4th. O-line, 21. Defensive line, edge, 31. Linebackers, 12. Cornerback, 8. And safety, 15. You add all those together, divide them by 9, that's 14.77778, which makes the Bears the number 12 team on the more Sip2Tally Power Rankings. Let's take a look at their draft picks and see how they fit into the 2024 team. All right, they got Caleb Williams, who's going to start at quarterback, so we don't need to even keep talking about him. Roma Dunze, who's going to be that number 3 receiver. Whether he starts outside or when he comes in goes to the slot, I'm not really sure. I think Keenan will be the slot. Keenan will start outside, but when they go 3 receivers, I think they'll move Keenan to the slot. Kyron Amagaje from Yale, I think he'll fight for one of those O-line jobs, but I think he's more of a project, but will be good in the long run. They drafted a punter, Torrey Taylor, punter, and Austin Booker, the defensive lineman from Kansas. Pretty good rush dude. He can get in there on some third down packages and maybe get 2 or 3 sacks this year, but they didn't have very many picks because they kind of gave him up to go get Caleb and whatnot. So that's their draft right there. So you let me know if I have the Bears too high, too low, or if you think these position groups are too high, too low, and let me know what you think. Matter of fact, do this. What do you think the Bears' record is going to be, especially with the new quarterback? Should they have kept Justin Fields? Put that in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And I appreciate you guys for coming out. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell so you can be notified, and share. Peace and love. Number 12 down.